Hello and welcome to DY's banner review for Valentine's 2025 Flash Gala. Oh, alright, so this banner brings us two new characters. We have Earth Makura and we have Dark Lobelia, so seasonal zodiacs and evokers, very, very popular characters that Psy Games has put on this banner this time round. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So immediately, I think Makura's weapon here has some niche potential if you are a Titan main. I wouldn't go barring this weapon for anything in particular, but next skill bar for something like EX Plus or NM90, we might see this particular set of skills maybe be useful. Fandango has been really useful really lately for guaranteeing your triple attack rate. Stamina is always a nice mod, and then the blow, which gives you echo on the third hit of a triple attack, might also play nicely with that. So something small to mention about Makura's weapon there. But more importantly, let's talk about the character herself. In a nutshell, Makura is a skill damage and normal attack oriented character who looks to be really good in full auto, and I also think that she will have quite decent potential for some high level raids too. I think her most defining kit here, part of her kit, is this particular passive, Divine Rabbit's Benevolence. So this particular passive, for the cost of high hostility, low defense, and no charge bar gain upon normal attacks, Makura gains double strike, and she always deals double attacks. So she can't deal triple attacks or single attacks, she'll always double attack. This is very similar to Grand Lancelot's passive, but on top of that, she also gains this particular thing, which is Activate Rabbit Rush, which is her first skill, upon normal attacks and when she dodges too. So every time she attacks, which is twice per turn, she will auto nuke with this as long as it's a normal attack and not a charge attack. And this skill is very similar to how Makura's S1 auto nuke works on her light version. It's a 4-hit damage nuke, which does attack and defense down stackable, and this will be her main way to generate charge bar, as it gives herself 10%. This is already very, very good. Having access to essentially 4 debuffs a turn, quite a useful debuff too that is reliable, is extremely, extremely good. And she will double strike, which obviously is very nice as well. Now, on top of that, it does activate whenever she dodges, and she does get dodge rate from over here. This will allow the team, not just herself, but all Earth allies gain dodge all, dispel cancel, and echo for 1 turn. This echo seems to be 30%, and I believe it is side A. So it's not the most impactful echo or anything, but it will help with hit summons or just dealing extra damage if you need that. The other part of a kit, which is really interesting to me, is her second passive. So upon using Snuggle Bunny, which is her second skill, or when she Ogies, she gets this dual-bladed menace effect. And what this does is that while it's in effect, Makura gets a bunch of attack, dodge rate, and her normal attacks now split into 2-hit flurries. But the main important thing here is that Makura deals a 2-hit earth damage to all foes when other Earth allies attack. This is pretty much exactly how Harselius works, but just less hits overall. In practice with my Magnet Grid, it was doing, I believe, around 3.1 million damage. So yeah, pretty solid damage there. Snuggle Bunny itself supplements normal attack damage, boost to crit rate, and also gives you 100% debuff res. I don't think we have numbers on the sub just yet, but from my rough testing, it seemed around 50,000, but wait for numbers on that one. And then finally, her Ogi here, once again, will give her that buff. To Makura, this is a 3-turn buff, by the way. It will give her dodge all and also cut her cooldown so that you can use these skills more often, which will keep this uptime up a bit longer. So in full auto, I do think Makura definitely benefits from keeping her Ogi on, just to keep up this dual-bladed menace buff. That being said, for most regular full autos in the game, like Tefnut or Wamdus, the fights don't last long enough for you to really justify that. I think if you have a strong enough grid, but if you're doing something like Leviathan Malice, maybe it'd be nice to keep your Ogi on for things like that. And yeah, I think Makura's real strength right now is full auto for the most part. I do think, however, that she definitely has potential in HL. These are all of these things are very, very useful to have in HL. She on her own would be able to solve many hits omens. She would be able to provide dodge all, which can make you deal with hexes 40%, or you would be able to just completely ignore one of Far's omens as well, Far Zero's omens, which is really, really nice. And having debuffs as part of her kit is really useful too, since so many omens in V2 tend to want you to debuff a boss. So her having 4 on her own, 6 if you haven't clicked this skill, is really, really nice. So overall, Makura, really, really solid character. And yeah, one that if you're an Earth main, I think would be a good idea to grab at some point. All right, let's move on to our next character on the banner, which is Lobelia. So Lobelia, once again, is a skill damage focused full auto character who also I think has some HL potential. We see some parallels between the two. They function very differently, but I think overall they might serve a similar sort of role. Lobelia's is a little bit different though. He's much, much more skill based. So let's break down his kit. The main thing Lobelia does is that he is a character that has a lot of synergy with Oblivion Crests. The reason for that is for this particular passive. When one or more Oblivion Crests are granted to Lobelia, so this is whether this doesn't matter if it's from Lobelia's own skills or somebody else's skills, Lobelia gains 1 sweet shell, which is his unique mechanic, or unique stack, sorry. This particular stack is used to activate his S2 and more importantly his S3. Later on, once you have at least 3 Oblivion Crests, he is able to consume those to activate Guts, which will give him some survivability as well, which is quite nice. On top of this, Lobelia does provide everybody with a crest at the start of the battle, and this effect even applies when Lobelia is backline. So in Earth, recently we received Halloween Mana Mel, which is very similar to this effect here, or it might be the exact same. And she actually enabled some 0 button and 19 EX plus strategies, so I would expect Lobelia to be able to do the same thing for Dark. Anyways, going back to the sweet shells. So the way Lobelia will gain this, once again, is through Oblivion Crests. And his S1, which has a 1-turn cooldown, so he'll be able to click it every single turn, this particular skill grants Lobelia himself an Oblivion Crest. Alongside that, it's a 6-hit dark damage nuke and also boosts everybody's charge bars by 10%. It will also give Lobelia what seems like at least 100% triple attack rate one time as well. Very, very solid nuke that you click every single turn, sort of like Valentine's Grimnia. Every time you click this, you will get the Oblivion Crest. Whenever other people use Oblivion Crest skills, he will gain the sweet shells, and the main thing he will do is click at this without end skill. You need 7 sweet shells to do this. But this is really where Lobelia's defining skill is, which is he gives this particular buff to everybody. Defense is boosted, damage taken is lowered, which is armored. Very nice, so very nice defensively. Skill damage dealt is supplemented, once again very good, and then deals dark damage upon using skills and after normal attacks. So if you've ever used the Earth version of Lobelia, this is very similar to how his skills work there, the S3 I believe, where after every skill, there's another nuke that happens at the end. This particular skill on this Dark version does the same thing, but it also does it after normal attacks as well. The main limiting factor is that this particular skill requires 7 sweet shells. So Lobelia on his own would normally take 7 turns to get this sweet shells to just click this, right? But since other characters can raise his sweet shell count by granting him Oblivion Crests, it makes it much more manageable. But it also does restrict his team building a little, because you do want to run other Oblivion Crests. Most notably, we have Manadava MC. If you have the 150 gold moon weapon, Zorcimos is also there. And then other than that, we have the Dark Opus main hand. We have Hecate Sama. We have Magisa Sama. And there's also characters like Cagliostro Halloween. But other than that, there's not too much crest support in Dark at the moment, so it can be a little bit restrictive, but MC being able to cover a decent chunk of that is very, very nice. Now, the other thing Lobelia can do with the Sweet Shells is once he has 10, you can click this S2, which does 2 local debuffs on the boss. It dispels 3 times, and it also heals all your allies. This one will sort of, it depends on your team, but you really won't see this early on, because the first thing that you should be clicking is S3, and this will activate in full auto as well, which is nice. And then, yeah, you have to build up to 10 stacks, which is quite hefty to get to this skill. And once you have the S3 buff, it will also buff his Ogi, as you will now be able to charge attack twice whenever it happens. The Ogi is quite nice. It does a debuff, and it also does an additional nuke, which is sort of like another mini Ogi that happens afterwards. So it's sort of like he Ogis like 3.5 times, that sort of thing. So to sum it up, Lobelia, once again, is a skill damage based full auto character. He will be clicking quite a bit just to get his stacks going, but I definitely think it's worth it because this particular skill here looks really, really good for full auto. And not only that, I think it has potential for HL as well. The defensive stuff is always nice, and this permanent buff is really, really good. And the other thing is, Lobelia doesn't need to be alive for this to stay in effect. So in the future, we might see maybe Lobelia be sacrificed off for another character. I'm not sure if that's the right way to go about it at the moment, but I have seen some testing of Lobelia in Phase 0, and it does definitely look fun. I've also tried Lobelia personally in some Cosmos full autos with his charge bar to sort of get this Ogi loop sort of team going, and it does work quite nicely. Overall, pretty fun character. He is very clicky though, once again, so if you don't like characters that click lots and lots of skills, then perhaps that isn't for you. But regardless, I think if you are a Dark main, he is someone you will want in your toolkit somewhere. Alright, so other than that, what else do we have on the banner? We have raid ups on 2 light grands. This time we have Yuni and Cosmos. So Yuni as a character is not really used. I wouldn't really recommend using her in any situation really. She is at best a budget sort of like band-aid character if you're just missing a lot of other units for HL mainly. Her weapon, however, Harmonia, is obviously very good. It is Light's Pain and Suffering weapon, the Pact weapon, which provides 50,000 supplemental damage. You will only ever need 2 of these. However, I really don't recommend sparking this banner just for Yuni. We have other better banners coming up, which I'll talk about in a moment, where I think it's better to spark Yuni there if you really wanted Harmonia. Cosmos. The weapon is niche. Diatesia. I don't know how to say it, sorry. But the weapon's a bit more niche. It's a charge attack based weapon. You do see it pop up from time to time, but it's nothing too noteworthy. You can use it in Magna 0 Star 2, so I guess that is a consideration, but yeah, nothing too special. It's a premium sete, basically, for light. Cosmos, however, is a really, really good character for full auto, and especially HL raids. She enables a lot of teams in Augustia, in Phase 0, in Hexa. However, once again, just like Yuni, I do not recommend sparking this banner just for Cosmos. I think there are much better banners coming up. So all of that begs the question, should you spark this banner? This is a really tough call, honestly, because both characters here look extremely solid. I don't think they're like super duper meta defining, but they are very, very good. Valentines is always a really rough banner to decide whether to spark on because these particular characters are not available on the 2025 anniversary ticket coming next month. So if you don't pick them up now, essentially you are waiting until next year to grab them. I personally think if you are an Earth or a Dark main, picking up your character essentially is a good call to make. I would not spark this banner for Yuni or Cosmos once again, but sparking for one of these two I think can definitely be worth it. However, I do want to point out some upcoming banners that we have, which you should definitely keep in mind. So most immediately, after this banner, we have February Legend. Last year, this banner had Sandy Grand on it. So we got a new Grand there. This year, there's no guarantee whether that will happen or not, but it is something to keep in mind for sure. Now, even if there is a new Grand there, I would never recommend sparking on that banner because we have all these banners coming up after that. In March Flash, we have two Flash banners. We have Part 1 and Part 2. Part 1 comes with usually a new Grand and new summer characters. This banner has roulette discount, and obviously it's a very, very good banner. Extremely solid banner. If you want to pick up a Flash Grand like Yuni, this is the time to do it, really. If you want to pick up Cosmos, this would be the banner to do it. Or it's the following banner, which gives you a guaranteed 100 rolls. Flash Part 2 doesn't have any particular rate ups, and the new summer characters, unfortunately, will not be sparkable on this banner. So if you're going for the new summers, you should definitely go for here. But if you just want the bigger discount, this is the banner to do it on. Moving on from that, we have March Leg Part 1. This banner is very significant because all the Zodiacs are available there except for Pela. This banner also has a guaranteed 100 rolls, and I forgot to write it here, but you also have Super Muku as well, which is essentially more rolls. Another huge discounted banner here. After that, Roulette does end, but we also have March Leg Part 2, which personally, for me, this is the scariest banner of the year. This is new summer characters, and there are no free pulls, so you're on your own. This banner is really scary for me because normally I used up all my rolls in these banners, that I have nothing left, so I'm always just hoping that there's nothing good here. Like I said, choosing to spark on Valentines is one of the toughest decisions of the year for sure, just because of all these important banners coming up as well. It's a hard choice, I know, and if you have any questions, I can help perhaps answer them in the comments below. But I think for now, that will do it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Hope that helped. And I will catch you guys on the next video. Goodbye. Bye-bye. Oh. What? Chat, my daily single didn't give me an SSR. How could this be? Daily 90. Oh. Oh. What? Come on. No. Chat, where's my collab rate up? I need the collab rate up right now. Look at this measly rate up here. Where is it? 0.026 for a grand and then 0.3. Where's my 1% rate up? I want the collab banner here. Man. Alright, scam. Scam chat time. Scam chat time. I wasted my luck on the collabs. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. Click. Okay. Here it is. 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 Pause. It's here. It's here. It's here. Trust. It's here. It's here. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's a Lobelia. That's a Lobelia.
Lobelia. 俺と共に幸福なラ・サンバロンタンを過ごさないか?
That's a Lobelia. Never punish. What do you mean that's just the scam chat? Oh, I forgot this was the scam. We still have an SSR to get, chat. Look. See, I'm gonna get punished here. I'm gonna get punished here. Don't worry. See? It's just a gold moon, chat. P.S. I hate you. I'm sorry. Alright, Makura, huh? What if we just do like one oopsies? Just one. We just do one. That's what I think. We just do it. Just one. What about one and one Aussie? Click. Okay, disaster. Disaster. Do we stop at the next SSR? Do we just stop at the next SSR? At the next SSR? I need you to get punished. Okay, we stop here. We stop here, chat. We stop here. We stop here. We stop here, we stop here, we stop here. We stop here. Oh. Chat. Chat room. I just want to point out that my luck isn't that great. Because earlier when we were farming Monster Hunter, I couldn't get a gem when everybody else was getting gems. I've just been saving my luck for now. I see Cajun whip dropping gems, plates, willy-nilly left and right, and I wasn't getting any. So this is what it's all been for. It's been up to this moment. Are you seriously saying that? No, of course not. We got insanely lucky here. We got insanely lucky.